What if I don't want what I currently have? What then? Hi, my name is Tanya Ray, and there's a lot to unpack here. Where today I'm unpacking something that I introduced on my first ever long form video that I posted 2 weeks ago today, which was I moved to Australia at age 43. I've been here for 5 months, and I realized in this move that I haven't been consciously creating a lot of the things in my life. Obviously, subconsciously, life isn't just happening to me. I am present, but when it comes to answering the question, what do I want? I don't even know how to answer that. So, my first task that I have tasked myself with is figuring that out, and first figuring out why it is that I can't answer that question. So, I'm going to share the progress with you, and we're going to unpack it together. So, that's what we're doing today. I'm going to update you on where I'm at with that, and hopefully it is useful for you too if you are following along in your own personal journey to find out what you want and how to create your life intentionally. And either way, thank you for joining me. We're going to clean my house while we chat about this because I find cleaning very meditative, even though I put it off until the last minute. And of course, we're going to have an audiobook and coffee because Australia. So come along. So, like I mentioned, I'm going to give an update on where I'm at with the figuring out what I want because I feel like it's important to share this because I'm probably not the only woman or only person in the world thinking, I don't really know what I want either. And I don't really know how to go about figuring that out because every time I ask myself that question, I'm just blank. So I realized based on how my body was reacting that I'm afraid of the answer. I'm afraid that I don't know the answer, etc. So originally, I realized that the first question that I need to ask myself and to answer is why am I afraid of this question? Why am I afraid to answer this question? I realized that the reason that I was afraid to answer the question was because I was afraid that what if I don't want my life now? What if I realize that I don't want the things that I have already created in my life? I've just gone through a very big move abroad to Australia. So what if that's something I don't want? Spoiler alert, I do. But I still don't know what is next for me. I don't quite know where my focus is. Part of it is building this channel, right? Because I feel like something about it freaks me out so much to be on camera, to be speaking, to be sharing my thoughts, and I don't script this. I think about what I want to say to some extent, and then I just turn on the camera. And the reason that I do that is because I am trying to face myself for the first time and to see myself. So, again, the answer to that question for me, and it might very well be different for you, I was afraid that I would realize I don't want what I have already created. Now, there are definitely things in my life that I don't want that I have created either consciously or unconsciously, either intentionally or kind of in the background because I wasn't paying attention. For example, my weight and my body. I would love to be healthier and to be fitter like I was a few years ago. And I did create this, right? I did create it through not checking in with myself, through turning to food when it was something else that I needed. But all of that can change, all of that can improve because I have the awareness. So that's my whole point here, is that first we have to have the awareness of what's stopping me from answering this question. Now, I still don't have the full answer to the question, what do I want? And it's ever changing, right? It's ever growing. But again, first we have to have the awareness of what is stopping us from answering this question. Why are we afraid? Why are we resistant? Why don't we know? And that's really all I had to share for that at this very moment. And I realize that for some of you, it's not necessarily fear of what if I don't want this, but it's probably fear of something, fear of judgment, fear that you're going to let yourself down, fear of failure. But at this point, cliche saying goes, choose your discomfort, choose your uncomfortable. You're going to be uncomfortable if you're in a life that just doesn't quite feel like yours, and you're going to be uncomfortable facing the truths. But which one persists longer? Staying in the comfort zone, but constantly revisiting, I don't want to be here. Something about this doesn't quite feel like me. It doesn't feel right. Or, wow, that's a bit heavy to know that I'm afraid that this isn't what I want for my life, that I wouldn't choose this again. And what does that mean? What does that mean for my future? There's something that lifts from me just realizing that and being able to explore it in my own time of, okay, now that I'm aware of this, I can start peeling back the layers of which pieces of my life are going to stay and which ones are going to go. And it's not on a specific timeline. It doesn't all have to happen tomorrow, and it absolutely can't. It happens in my own time, but life has taught me that if something is meant to be, then it's going to happen no matter what. That's kind of like me moving back to Australia. I would cry every time I saw a video or a picture pop up into my memories on my phone of the time that I was in Australia, because I longed for coming back here, but I had no plans to come back here at the time that we moved. I've said it several times, but it wasn't part of a 5-year plan. We had about 5 months to get everything in order, and that was being generous. We could have had a lot less time. So I do feel like things kind of crashed down around me because we were meant to come back. And so I don't say this to say that you don't have control over your own life and your choices, and you can't consciously build the life that you want. But I will say that if something is meant for you, then it's going to find you at some point. Sometimes you have to make the space for it. Sometimes you have to allow yourself the realization that that is what you want and that's what you're going to create. And sometimes things are going to come crashing down around you to create that momentum in your life. So, what is it that you truly want? And if you are like me, what's making you afraid or resistant to answer that question? Thank you for tuning in. I am so forever grateful for each and every one of you. I hope you understand that. It honestly baffles me when I see any views on my posts. I don't know if anyone's making it to the end to hear my gratitude, but it really does mean the world to me, because this is what I have always wanted to create, is just me authentically sharing my thoughts and allowing people to take what is for them and leave the rest. You can rouse me a little bit when I say something off the cuff, a little stupid. That's okay. I enjoy that too, especially in the Australia posts. But this is what I wanted, is to just open lines of communication so people can think and people can be who they are. And if I inspire you to do that, I think I just answered part of my own question. What do I want? All right. That was not planned. See you soon.